Okay, wonderful. So turn to the person next to you and say, it's so good that you're here today. And if you don't know the person, quickly tell them who you are. Introduce yourselves. And tell them one really boring fact about yourself. Okay, that's enough boredom. Okay, right. No one noticed anything there. That was wonderful. Okay, so in the video, we saw some key things, and in our interactive Bible reading, there were some key things that happened. And so I wonder what stood out to you specifically in the video. So now you've introduced yourself to the person next to you and you made really good friends with them. You're really happy to talk to them. So turn to the person next to you and see what stood out for you. So I'm going to give you 1 minute and say what was the main thing that stood out to you in the video. Go. It's for you guys as well. Okay, so I wonder what stood out for you. So who would like to share what stood out for them? Okay, what stood out for you?
The bit where he shone the light and the two persons came.
Okay, so he shone like a light and two persons came down. Great, yes. What stood out for you? Yeah. When he came back to life. Okay, where he spoke about coming back to life. Okay, interesting. Anyone else? Any adults? This is an all-age interactive service. There must have been something that stood out to you, wonderful adults. What stood out to you? Share. Come on, be brave. Have some courage. Anyone? Anyone from the band? Oh, hello, yes. About building the tabernacle. Okay, so lots of different things standing out to many different people, which is wonderful. And it goes to show that just because we see something, we all take on something slightly different, because depending on what season we're in life, different things will jump out at us. And the three things that stood out to me, other than being very echoey over here, is Jesus' transfiguration, the two men who appeared with him, and a voice that came from a cloud. So first, I need a volunteer. I need someone who would be able to fit into a garment, but they'll have to stand up here for a wee while. There's some hands at the back. You at the back. Yes, in the white. Yes, come on over. Okay, right. As fast as you can. Yes. Okay, hopefully this could fit you. Yes. See if that will work. Pop your arms through there. And your head, that's it. Wonderful. Yeah, get your arms in there as well at some point. Okay, and we have this wonderful white blonde wig, okay? Crafted from my own hair. Yes, I still yet to dress myself, so it's okay. Wonderful, and then wonderful. This was from my own hair when I had some. Okay, turn around and face everyone. Okay, we have Jesus, but just so you know it's Jesus, if you'd like to hold that sign. Dazzling white. Yes, absolutely. Turn them, just face the people over there so they can see as well and wave to them. Okay, wonderful. Right, so we have Jesus, who is showing off the latest Daz advert for how to get your garments whiter than white. So white, in fact, it's really far too dazzling to even look at. But aside from showing Daz up and other whitening, cleaning products, which can be found in any good retailer, we're not supporting Daz in this sermon. But this is a really important event that the three disciples are witnessing, because this is showing Jesus in his divine nature. And this is what he looked like when he was with God. And in John 1 verse 1 we read, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And he gave up this. He gave up this divine nature to come here on earth. Because if he came in his divinity, as we found in the video, he was too dazzling white. We just could not look at him. And so he gave up all of this to come to earth to rescue us. But it is a foreshadowing of what is to come. And in Revelations 1:14-18, it says, his head and hair were white like wool, near enough, as white as snow, and his eyes like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass, as if refined in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of mighty ocean waves. And he said, I am he who lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, and I have the keys of the unseen realm and of death. And so to be in God's presence, we cannot even have the teeniest blemish on us. And unfortunately, because we are human, we are all like red wine that has been spilt on fine cotton. I thought of that myself. I thought that would be a good analogy to have. Stained and not coming out. Now, over here, you may not have noticed, but there is a stain right here. And coffee on green carpet also does the same thing. This happened on a very interesting Tuesday morning, which was wonderful. People were praising the Lord. And so much so, coffee got spilled, and there I was scrubbing that with a J-cloth. Yes, I was cleaning. And took up as much as I could, yet, although I took out the original stain, there is still evidence of a mark being there. And that is like us. We can try and get as much of it out as possible, but the reality is there's always going to be a stain left over. But with what we saw from this passage is that Jesus is showing us a glimpse of what is on offer. This dazzling white in which he appears, he's offering that to us. A new start. Because of all the wrong things we have done, and although he wasn't himself, he had no faults, he was without blemish, he took it all upon himself on the cross. He was innocent, he had no sin, yet he went on the cross. He took our place. He took that stain and the stains that have happened and will happen. He put them on the cross. He took them upon himself, so that when we say yes to him and ask God to forgive us of the wrong things we have done, we are then clothed in his righteousness. So we then appear as Jesus did in front of God on top of the mountain, dazzling white and without blemish. And so second, thank you, Jesus. You stand over there. Can you see? You're right over there. You good? Wonderful. Okay, if you want to come stand over here, that's wonderful. Okay, I need two other people who have yet been up. Amelia, if you want to come up. We'll have a lad. We'll go with you because your hand's up. Boy, no, yes, you, boy. Wonderful. Okay, right. Amelia, you can wear this. Look. Hold that there. Right, okay. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere, Amelia. Don't go anywhere. You stay there. You're right under there. Okay. And if you hold that, just like that. No, yes, you. Right. No, wrong one. You let go. You're that one. I've worked this out, honestly. Okay. And you're this one. There we go. Wonderful. Don't they look splendid? Okay. There we go. And then turn this way. Thank you very much. Okay, so next is we have these two men who appear with Jesus, and I wonder if you can remember who they are. So who do you think this person is? Shout it out. Some say Moses, some say Peter. Okay, interesting. Who do you think this is? Elijah. See, I'm so good at dressing people, you just get it. It's amazing. Yes, so one was Moses and one was Elijah. But why them? Why these two in particular? And also, as it was kind of mentioned in our interactive Bible reading, they've been dead for hundreds of years. Moses is somewhat at the very beginning of the Old Testament, and Elijah, not to be confused with Elisha. Okay, yeah. We've got Elijah, so somewhere mid Old Testament. But they've been dead for hundreds of years, thousands probably, of years. And yet, we see them standing, talking with Jesus on top of a mountain within the New Testament. So that's just something to make you go, But we are a family service, and so, we don't want to make your brains go too. But what is Moses known for? What was he known for in the Bible? Shout it out. What do you think? 10 Commandments. Yes, anything else? Anything else on? Yes, taking them out of slavery. Yes, a few other things. I think someone did say it. But yes, so Moses is for the 10 Commandments. That's what he's well known, written for. You're right under there, Moses. There you are. So known for the 10 Commandments, but also the law in which the Israelites were to live by. And we see it being referred to by the Pharisees in the New Testament. They talk about Moses' law and that we need to keep to Moses' law. And so then what is Elijah known for? Elijah, give the crowd a wave so they know who you are. Wonderful. Oh, and they wave back. That's good. They are paying attention. That's wonderful. So what is Elijah known for? Prophet. Yes, thank you very much. So a prophet's main role was to speak for God, which may include of things to come, but it is very much about proclaiming God's truth, no matter how unpopular that may be. And now with Elijah, he went and he confronted kings, he confronted nations, he said, you've turned away from God. He didn't really go to comfort them, he went to warn them to say, if you didn't turn back to God, that these things would happen to you. So we have Moses, who represented the law. Moses, you still with us? Wonderful. Moses, who represented the law, and Elijah representing the prophets as a whole. And their appearance, so Jesus, give us a wave, you still with us? Yeah, good, Jesus still with us. It showed Jesus as the fulfillment of both the Old Testament, so if you want to stand in the middle, wonderful. So he was showing the fulfillment of the Old Testament law and all of the Old Testament prophecies of him, of Jesus' coming. And we read in Matthew 5:15, Jesus says, do not think that I've come to destroy the law of Moses or the writing of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose. And so lastly, I need one more person. Yes, you at the back. Come on then. You've already been up. We're sharing it. Okay, come here. And then stand there-ish. We're going to borrow this flag. It's okay. Right. You're a cloud. Can you be cloudish? Do you know how to be a cloud? Give it a wave and hold the pole. Wonderful. Okay, and then we have a cloud. And there was a voice from the cloud. Do we have a voice from the cloud? There we go. So whose voice, not this voice, but whose voice in the Bible is it? God's, yes, absolutely. And I wonder if you can remember any other time in the Gospels, that's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, when God spoke audibly in a similar way. So this is the bit where you can talk to the person next to you and stop listening to me for a bit, and see if you could come up with any other times that we hear God speak in the Gospels. Hints, there's 3 occasions. Okay, so see if you can put them together. You've got a minute. Go. Talk to the person next to you. Yeah, we'll talk to it. I'll share later, but how are we doing, Cloud? Cool, you can come forwards a bit, Cloud. There we go. You can, every so often, you can peek. It's okay, you can peek every so often. Oh, there are some inquisitive looks going on. Okay, so put your hand up if you've got at least one answer. Okay, put your hand up if you've got 2 times. And put your hand up if you got the full 3. Nick, did you get the full 3? Oh. Yes, point to me, yay. Right, okay, so put your hands up if you... Oh, Moses. You may be holding on to the law. You're right with the book, Moses? Right with the law? Okay, good. So, put your hand up if you got when Jesus was baptized. Oh, all the wigs are falling off. Okay, so we've got when Jesus was baptized. Good, so that's found in Matthew 3:16. After his baptism, as Jesus came up out of the water, the heavens were open, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and settling on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my dearly loved son who brings me great joy." And the second time, shout out what you got for the second one, or when else you heard it. So we have baptism, burning bush, yes, but that's not necessarily Gospels. So we have here at the Transfiguration, so people weren't paying attention to the video, because it then says, "Then a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice from the cloud said, 'This is my dearly loved son, listen to him.'" And then the third time, which I didn't actually know about either until I looked it up, is when Jesus is explaining to his disciples why he must die. So this is just before they go for the Last Supper. And this is found in John 12, 27 to 28. And Jesus is saying, "Now my soul is deeply troubled. Should I pray, 'Father, save me from this hour'? But this is the very reason I came. 'Father, bring glory to your name.' Then a voice spoke from heaven saying, 'I have already brought glory to my name, and I will do so again.'" And so every time we have heard God's voice in the Gospels, it is to reaffirm who Jesus is to God. That Jesus is God's dearly loved Son, who we should listen to. And so when we read Jesus' teaching, when we read the Gospels, we are listening to him, and we are to act on those teachings. And so in this event of the Transfiguration, God is telling the disciples and us to listen to what Jesus has to say, and reminding them and us of who he is. You're right over there, Elijah. Good. Of who he is. And Jesus is telling his disciples that he will raise again from the dead, which he did. But before that, before he goes and suffers on the cross, that he must suffer greatly and be treated with utter hatred. Right, lovely. You can go sit down. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanking you. Thanking you. They're looking like they're getting a bit hot. Thank you, Cloud. Right. Pop you back up here. And so as they're coming into land, so there is so much wrapped up here. In these few verses, there's so many links between Old Testament, New Testament regarding Jesus. And to recap the things, firstly, is we are seeing a foretaste of heaven, a brief glimpse of the true glory of the King, which is Jesus, in his divine nature. And secondly, we have Moses and Elijah's presence with Jesus, which confirmed Jesus' mission to come to fulfill God's law and the words of God's prophets. But also, as I said earlier, note how they were talking with Jesus. They weren't just a static being. It didn't say that they just appeared. No, they were talking with him, which is showing us that there is life after death, that eternity with Jesus is not just a hopeful wish, but a true reality, one of which Moses and Elijah are already living in, because they've been dead hundreds of years, yet we see them fully alive here on the Transfiguration. And then lastly, we have God's voice. And just as God gave authority to his law via Moses, his voice here at the Transfiguration gave authority to Jesus' words. And now we're going to move on to our song. And this is called Promises. It's a really beautiful song. And it speaks of God's faithfulness to us, how he will do what he has promised to do. And he has said that one day he will come again. So hold on to that. We heard him say to his disciples, "I will raise again," and he did. And then he said to them that I will return, and that he will. And so all the promises that he has made, know that he will hold on to, and that he will deliver on those promises. And also that he is preparing a place for you in heaven, where there is no more tears, pain, or hurt. And so with this song, they're going to start us off. And you can stay seated down. You can allow the words to just reflect over you if you wish. But if you feel like you want to stand in response, then also please do. But band, if you'd like to take us away.